Many ancient civilizations have come and gone throughout recorded history, and each of them has had some influence on modern cultures in specific ways. In this video, we'll look at 10 odd but true ancient facts. Number 1. A paste made from dead mice was used by the ancient Egyptians to treat toothaches. When Egyptians experienced toothaches, they believed dead mice would relieve their discomfort. The dead mouse was grinded into a paste with specific herbs and other concoctions and administered directly to the gums and teeth. The formula was simple and organic. They believed they've got themselves a pain-relieving remedy. But indeed, there was no chance that this would relieve their suffering. Instead, it was likely to make it worse and create an infection. Number 2. Urine was used as a mouthwash by the ancient Romans. To whiten their teeth, the ancient Romans used animal and human urine as mouthwash. The truth is, it works, it's just nasty. Our urine contains ammonia, nitrogen, and hydrogen molecules that can work as cleansing agents. Today, ammonia is used to clean porcelain, glass, and stainless steel products and remove baked-on filth from ovens, among other things. Number 3. The mummification process was first used by South Americans. When you think of a mummy, ancient Egyptians usually come in mind. But it was actually the South Americans who first invented the preservation process. Around 7,000 years ago, the people of Chincoro began mummifying their deceased. Initially, Chincoro people buried their dead in shallow graves in the desert. The dry climate naturally dried out the corpses, keeping them from rotting. As the Chincoro population rose, more locals began to see these corpses in the desert. This motivated them to emulate nature's process and start mummifying their deceased. Talk about nature-inspired burial rituals. Number 4. The Romans scattered their own feces in their gardens. Fertilizers from human feces, often called night soil, were used by the Romans to fertilize their gardens to improve plants' growth and yield. The Romans utilized human urine and feces in their gardens because the organic element of the feces, the nitrates, phosphate, and potassium in the urine fertilized plants. Aside from fertilizing the soil, the practice also helped the Romans to clean their waste. But they did not take many steps to reduce the spread of diseases, as the practice facilitated the spread of various illnesses and diseases. Overall, it was a bad practice. Number 5. In 79 AD, a man survived the initial wave of Pompeii's destruction, only to have a boulder drop on his head. Mount Vesuvius, a massive stratovolcano in southern Italy, is best known for its 79 AD eruption. The eruption is considered one of the worst in European history. It killed many Pompeii inhabitants and notably freezing others in place. However, archaeologists at Pompeii discovered the remains of a man who was crushed by a massive rock while running from the volcano. Evidence from his skeleton suggests that he escaped the initial blast and fled the destroyed city. But a leg injury slowed him down, and he was crushed by the massive stone speeding through the air. Number 6. This is the world's oldest beer recipe. Beer is said to have evolved independently in different places worldwide. Indeed, some argue that beer was a byproduct of cereal-based farming, with spontaneous fermentation playing a role in the accidental brewing process. This emergence of proto-beer production originates from the early Neolithic period, around 9,500 BC. Beyond the extent of regional variations of beer-like mixtures, historians are convinced of one fact about this history segment. The oldest known conventional formula for manufacturing beer originates from ancient Mesopotamia. The first conscious manufacturing of beer in history can be traced to the Sumerians. Evidence suggests that the world's oldest surviving beer recipe was found within a 3,900-year-old hymn in Sumer. Number 7. The ancient Japanese buried people in jars. Between 300 BC and 380, the Yayoi culture's primary method of burial and one of its most recognizable methods of interment was placing the dead or burying them in burial jars. The jars were initially buried horizontally in the mid-Yayoi dynasty, which was particularly popular. Later, they were positioned at an angle to counterbalance the earth's weight that pressed from above. Finally, the practice changed to burying the jars vertically with their mouths turned down. However, while burial jars were quite popular, early Yayoi inhabitants of the Fukuoka Plain buried some of their dead in pits, some with wooden coffins and some without. Number 8. People in Victorian England used to photograph their deceased relatives. Photographs of family members after their deaths may appear gruesome to modern eyes. But in Victorian England, they considered it a ritual to commemorate the dead and help themselves deal with grief. Families pose with the deceased in disturbing and surprisingly sad photographs. Infants look asleep, and young ladies beautifully recline. In Victorian life, death was especially prevalent. Epidemics such as typhus, diphtheria, and cholera ravaged the country, and the mourning queen made grieving fashionable in 1861. Grief makes us do the worst things. Number 9. Gladiators in Rome frequently became superstars and even were sponsored. Despite being considered uncivilized barbarians by Roman historians, gladiators gained enormous popularity among the common people. Their images adorn the walls of many public places. Children played with gladiator action figures, and famous fighters even advertised for companies similar to today's top athletes. Pompeii graffiti portrays one combatant as catching the girls in the twilight in his net, and another as the pleasure of all the girls. Many women wore gladiator blood-dipped hairpins and other jewelry. Some even combined gladiator sweat, which was then regarded as highly aphrodisiac, into facial lotions and other cosmetics. If that's the case, it won't be out of place to say gladiators were the first influencers. History does repeat itself after all. Number 10. The University of Oxford predates the Aztec Empire. The University of Oxford is so old that it predates the Aztec civilization by over 200 years. People were studying at the University of Oxford by 1096. While the building of Tenochtitlan, often regarded as the beginning of the Aztec civilization, was built in 1325. The University of Oxford website states that no one knows the precise year of the university's creation. Still, it is believed some teaching was happening at the university in 1096. The university eventually grew more popular when Henry II barred English students from taking classes at the University of Paris in 1167. By 1249, Oxford possessed 3 original halls of residence: the Balliol, the University, and Merton colleges. That's all for today. Stay tuned for part 2 on ancient civilization facts to be released in the coming weeks. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure you like the video, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell.